Ubisoft has already played with the idea of a multiverse involving its franchises in Captain Laserhawk and the now cancelled X-Defiant. But do its games actually take place in the same universe? In Assassin's Creed, we learn that humanity was created and enslaved by the Isu, a highly advanced race that possessed pieces of Eden capable of controlling human minds. In the early games of the franchise, we see Desmond Miles save the world from an extinction event that was supposed to happen on 12/12/2012. In Assassin's Creed IV, Black Flag, we see emails from Bloom, the security company that serves as the main antagonist in the Watch Dogs series. When we are outside the Animus, we meet Olivier Garneau, the CEO of Abstergo, who mentions in-game that he is traveling to Chicago. And after that, he is never heard from again. This is because in Watch Dogs 1, during a contract mission, we assassinate him. This event is later shown and confirmed again in Assassin's Creed Origins. In Assassin's Creed Origins, we also learn that Desmond did not truly save humanity. He merely delayed its extinction.
Humankind went to bed. Then, on the morning of December 22nd, 2012, humankind was graced with yet another morning. They never knew that on the previous day, the world almost ended. We thought that would have been enough. And it was, until it wasn't.
In Far Cry 3, during an exploration mission, we see an Abstergo experiment on the island. We also find an anagram referencing the date of the end of the world. In the game, we encounter a dagger capable of controlling minds, which could very well be a piece of Eden. In Far Cry 4, we meet Longinus, a man of faith who traffics weapons. In his final mission, he says he is going to South America, or Cuba.
You going somewhere?
It is finished! My work here is done, and now the Lord is calling me elsewhere.
Where to?
South America, I think. Or perhaps Cuba. There are still many sins for me to atone for.
In Far Cry 6, if we choose to either kill or spare a politician and wait long enough, we can see him calling Longinus.
Longinus, baby, where have you been? You wouldn't believe this, but I'm in Yara, your old stomping grounds, buddy. Now listen, not sure if you're in the things that kill people game anymore, but I got some WMDs that you can make use of. You heading back to Karat anytime soon?
Yara, the fictional country in the game, is almost a parody of Cuba. However, its place in the broader timeline becomes more complex when we reach Far Cry 5. In Far Cry 5, if we choose not to leave at the end, a nuclear bomb falls on Montana, creating a massive cliffhanger and seemingly fulfilling everything Joseph Seed predicted. However, he was not truly a prophet. He was merely a former soldier who knew what was coming. Jacob Seed even states that he does not know if Joseph speaks with God, but that what he says is true. This is because Jacob fought in the Gulf War, wears military gear, and suffers from PTSD. On the in-game radio, we hear reports of escalating global conflicts, especially in the Middle East and Asia.
Necessary international travel. Families are being encouraged to travel within the United States instead of abroad. No word on how this is affecting businesses yet, or whether international business travel is considered necessary. The strain in Asia is increasing. Between threats of nuclear activity and potential trade sanctions, it seems likely that conflict will break out sometime in the near future. If it does, the United States will have to get involved. Peace talks in the Middle East have broken down again, with the latest in a series of bombings, killing 2 and injuring 11. Among the injured are several U.S. reporters who were on hand for the talks. No word yet from the White House on these terrible losses. International analysts are saying the U.S. may be facing war. Between the nuclear testing in the Pacific and the failed peace talks in the Middle East, well, things aren't looking good. A nuclear power plant in Tennessee was shut down earlier this week thanks to an equipment malfunction. It's a relatively new plant, so this news is particularly alarming. Several Middle Eastern countries have recalled their diplomats from the United States. They say tensions with Korea make it too dangerous to remain. 19 people died today in a terror attack in the Middle East. 38 more were injured. This makes the third attack this month. The Department of Homeland Security has issued an intermediate alert today. Affected regions include New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and San Francisco. Montana isn't expected to be affected, but it's always possible. Keep alert, people. Stock up on food and water, just in case. Russia has been attacked. Bombs hit Moscow this morning. No final word on casualties, but experts are saying the numbers are in the millions. If there was any hope for peace, it's gone now. World news continues being depressing. An attack on a police facility in Kashmir has left 8 dead and dozens injured. The injured have been evacuated to a nearby hospital. At least 2 of the attackers were killed, but we don't yet have a full count on the casualties. All communication from North Korea has stopped. Analysts are saying this silence is not a good sign, and the Koreans may be preparing for nuclear war. The first attack could come at any moment. Washington, D.C. is preparing to evacuate. The president has already been moved to a secure location. Meanwhile, the National Military Command Center is deploying crisis response teams to major cities along the eastern seaboard.
These broadcasts further support the idea that the world was heading toward collapse. We also confirm connections between Watch Dogs and Far Cry, placing them in the same universe.
Is your financial information safe? A massive data breach at one of the nation's top 3 credit reporting agencies would seem to prove it isn't. The company has hired cybersecurity specialists Bloom to look into the matter, but it may be too little too late.
From this, it becomes easy to conclude that the canonical ending of Far Cry 5 is the nuclear explosion, supposedly caused by North Korea. However, Far Cry 6 complicates this narrative. Although it takes place after Far Cry 5, the United States and other countries appear to be intact. In the DLCs focused on the villains of the franchise, specifically Pagan Min's DLC, there is a secret ending where we see Pagan talking to Ajay Gale. In this ending, we discover that Pagan not only left the Kingdom of Kyrat to Ajay, but also left missiles aimed at Montana, the setting of Far Cry 5.
Hello? Is it working? What? Gary? Is it Oh, okay, good. Ajay, if you're listening to this recording, I am dead. Or just, on vacation or something. Doesn't really matter. I'm sure by now you're busy silencing dissidents and enjoying lavish clifftop dinners. I just have one last thing to mention. You don't think I really sunk all this country's money into gold statues, do you? Don't be stupid. No, I was starting to get a little tired of America meddling in my personal affairs without consequence. I mean, closing trade, sending the CIA, trying to hire you to off me or something. It really pissed me off. So, beneath this palace is, well, what would you call it? A stock? A heap? A gaggle? An enormous fucking vault of nuclear weapons, a fuck ton of them, pointed right at America. Probably, I don't know, somewhere near Montana, to be exact. Doesn't matter. Feel free to use them whenever and however you see fit. Oh, but if I am alive, do warn me first, would you? Enjoy the power, RJ. You deserve it. Love always. Uncle Pagan. Now, how do I press...
This revelation greatly complicates the timeline because from that point onward, either Far Cry New Dawn is not canonical or Far Cry 6 isn't. If New Dawn is canonical, then there are no games that can logically take place after it, since it depicts a post-nuclear apocalypse. However, Far Cry 6 clearly exists in a functioning modern world. Additionally, New Dawn includes a reference to Splinter Cell, which would seemingly confirm the presence of the Tom Clancy universe within Far Cry. But this raises further issues, because a fully connected Tom Clancy universe would imply a geopolitical and technological continuity that doesn't align well with the nuclear ending of Far Cry 5. The most realistic interpretation is that the true ending of Far Cry 5 is the one where the player chooses to walk away. This would explain why Ajay had not yet attacked Montana, Ajay spent most of his life in the United States and would have no rational reason to launch an attack on Montana specifically. Montana is not a major metropolis, and a nuclear strike there would inevitably trigger a massive retaliation from the U.S. nuclear arsenal. This also helps explain why Joseph Seed chose Montana as the center of his cult, because it was strategically isolated and symbolically aligned with his apocalyptic beliefs. To reconcile the Tom Clancy universe with all of this, we can look at Ghost Recon 2, which takes place in 2007, where the United States is already experiencing rising tensions with North Korea. This geopolitical backdrop closely mirrors the plot of Splinter Cell, Chaos Theory. These recurring global tensions suggest that Ubisoft has been laying groundwork for a broader narrative involving escalating international conflict, potentially culminating in a large-scale war. As of the time this video was posted, there has been no significant new content expanding on this theory. Watch Dogs. Legion featured a reference to Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Shadows added no meaningful references to other Ubisoft universes. My bet is that, assuming the company survives long enough, we will eventually see more plots centered around World War III, which would align with the not-so-near end-of-the-world implications hinted at in Assassin's Creed Origins. There are other things to mention, like the Watch Dogs Legion Assassin's Creed DLC confirmed to be uncanon, and the Joseph Seed DLC on Far Cry 6 that takes place after the Resist ending and messes up the whole timeline again. But for now, this is a well-done theory. Thank you for watching.